Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to give you guys an update on my experience with the Toshiba Thrive. Now this is actually one of my favorite Honeycomb tablets to date, so I'm kind of excited to share with you guys my experience with the device, as it's been a really pleasurable one. So let's go through the specs. I did that in initial impressions, but for those of you who missed that, gotta update you. So what you're looking at here essentially is a 10.1 inch 1280 by 800 resolution display, like you'll find on all Honeycomb 10.1 16 by 10 aspect ratio displays out there, and it's pretty much up to snuff with the competition, as I mentioned in my initial impressions video. Basically on par with the Zoom. Of course, build quality on this device is not up to snuff with the Zoom. In fact, in my opinion, no Honeycomb tablet to date is still up to snuff in terms of build quality with the Motorola Zoom. Of course, that doesn't mean the Zoom has the best display. It certainly does not. Galaxy Tab takes the cake there. Anyway, moving away from comparisons, let's focus on the Thrive. I did say it was one of my favorites. Let's talk about why. This is the first tablet on the market to really differentiate itself in just about every regard. Yes, the Transformer changed the concept of the tablet by putting a keyboard on it, but many could argue that's what a netbook or laptop is, just, of course, in this case, running Honeycomb. Here, Toshiba has offered users, basically the ability to replicate a computing experience without having to have that keyboard. So by that, I talk about really functionality. Yes, you've got that 10.1 inch relatively standard display, that Tegra 2 processor, which is the reference hardware for all Honeycomb tablets, a gig of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage. You also have an SD card slot for storage expansion, and obviously also just to review photos from your camera, since that is the standard. I believe the SDHC rating, as I mentioned in the initial impressions, goes up to 128 gigs, so really the sky's the limit there, although prices, of course, on those cards are very lofty. That in time will, of course, change. You've also got full USB port, USB host, as well as a full HDMI port. I mean, really making this very similar to a ultra portable multimedia laptop, even though, of course, I'm not going to compare this with PC functionality. No tablet to date can really compare with a PC. But, between the performance and what Toshiba offers here, they really are, targeting a specific audience that, as I've mentioned in my initial impressions video, are trying to do more with a tablet than the standard user. Also, you've got a replaceable battery, which is rated at somewhere between, I would say, 6 and 8 hours, but in my experience, as I've cycled and charged the battery, it's only gotten better. I'm now seeing closer to 8 rather than 6, which is what I got initially with this tablet. And again, the ability to just pop another battery in there. I did say they range from $60 to $80 depending on where you get them, but to have that hot swappable battery and not worry about needing to plug in a cord through the course of a day to get around at least 12 to maybe 15 or 16 hours of battery life is really impressive. So definitely an eye for detail here for users that are more trying to find practical uses for their tablet rather than just what maybe the discounted HP touchpad offers in terms of giving you email, flash browsing experience, and calendar. This really leverages the best of both worlds, and that's what I really love about the Thrive, is that it's going beyond what Honeycomb does on its own. It's giving you a file manager, which I'm going to show you guys right now, that essentially allows you to view anything that's either on your internal storage, your SD card, or a jump drive. So that's really nice. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Does it work? Yes. All storage expansion, by the way, on here, whether you're using a flash drive or a external hard drive, like I believe that it can operate with up to a terabyte external drive. I've used a 750. The point is that they all have to be formatted in FAT32 file system. So keep that in mind if you just hook up your hard drive right now or your jump drive. It probably won't work, and that's because the standard is pretty much NTFS across the board, has been for many, many years. FAT32 is an older file system, so you'll have to reformat those devices. Of course, do back up whatever you have on them, because in the process of reformatting them, you will delete whatever is on them. But really nice to have that capability. Web browsing on here, I'm not giving you guys a software tour because Honeycomb is Honeycomb, And what Toshiba has done right here is keep it pretty much stock, but just add their touches to make the tablet more of a computer-esque device, which is really the blend I've been waiting for personally. Do really like that it has haptic feedback, by the way, and even though it is one of the thicker tablets on the market, as I showed all of you in the initial impressions, because it is still only 1.6 pounds, the weight distribution is fairly good. So happy to see that. In fact, even though it's the same weight and far larger than the Zoom, it's a little bit easier to hold, I find, simply because of that broad range of weight distribution. I've read about some people actually disliking the weight distribution, but I feel quite the opposite. Again, just showing you guys around the tablet. This plastic back, in my experience, at first I wasn't in love with it, but now I'm not saying I'm in love, but certainly up to snuff with what expectation should be for a tablet like this, especially since I have seen the 8GB version of this device go as low as under $300 through Amazon in a sale recently. So if you're able to pick one of these up at the $300 to $400 price point, I think you'll be thoroughly pleased if you're looking for something that does a lot more than the rest of the competition. On the whole, the Honeycomb experience on here has been good. Speaking of the rear and front cams, again, even though they're rated the same as the Zoom, not quite up to snuff. I'm just going to say better hardware being used there, at least in the camera department, by Motorola, but definitely better than the rest of the competition, including the Transformer, iPad 2, Galaxy Tab 10.1, you name it. The Toshiba is right there, in my opinion, behind the Motorola Zoom. So really like what I see from this product. On the whole, Toshiba has definitely gone the distance with trying to show users that a tablet can be more than what you expect. Want to show you guys, of course, the removable back. I just went ahead and unlocked the entire back grill here so that I can show you guys exactly what this thing looks like when you take it off. Now, it's not too difficult to remove. Essentially, the speakers are the pry points, at least starting pry points. So as you can see there, I've snapped one. Let's go ahead and see if I can snap the other, and hopefully show you guys exactly how easy it is to remove that, which was pretty simple. And there you can see the removable battery that I mentioned earlier. Again, nothing fancy here, but nice to see that you're able to get in there to actually replace the battery. And I think you guys could tell it was a fairly simple, quick and easy process. Again, when you put this back on, you just want to make sure that you go around all the edges so that all the pry points do snap back into place, and then things should be secure. So on the whole, you're not getting the build quality of the Motorola Zoom. You certainly are getting the hardware though, because it's running all the things you expect from a Honeycomb based tablet. Software updates are dependent on Toshiba, but Toshiba's been pretty good, I would say, about making sure that this tablet continues to run as it should. I mean, they fixed the sleep to death issue pretty quickly, and a 3.2 update should be around the corner, which will give this device even further capabilities, because again, that will enhance Honeycomb beyond obviously what Toshiba has done on their own. Really like what I'm seeing out of this, and again, so far this is basically my favorite Honeycomb tablet in terms of form and function. Again, not the best looker in the bunch, not for everyone, but for a home tablet, and even if you need to take it on the go, I think you can justify the extra weight and thickness based on its functionality and overall capabilities, especially at a sale price, like I mentioned before, of the 8GB going for under $300. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.